All right, good morning, everybody. We'll get started in about a minute here. We'll let people kind of filter their way in. As we wait to get started, feel free in the chat, let us know where you're coming in from today. I'm looking through this. We've got people across the United States and Canada. I'm curious if we have anyone from Louisiana. I'm dying to know how things are going with a little hurricane down there because we have a conference coming up. We're flying out on Saturday, so let me know if Louisiana is still flooded and if it's a bad idea for us to go to New Orleans in a couple days here. All right. PSG team, if you guys want to hop on, we'll probably get started here. I know we promised 10 minutes. Andy, do you think we're going to keep this to 10 minutes today?
I mean, I talk a lot, but I'm going to try to talk as fast as possible. So we'll see.
Our ability to keep this to 10 minutes rides on Andy's back. It's on the
Yeah,
discipline that Andy shows today.
you got
Uh,
it.
so let's housekeeping. Yes, we are recording this. Yes, we will send you the slides. We've got a whole. If you haven't been already, you can go to pringersolutions.com/bbcon. We have a whole bunch of resources for you. Today we are talking about the conference coming up in Seattle. We will talk fast. It'll go longer than 10 minutes. If you have to bug out after 10 minutes, we totally get it. But a lot of people have questions about travel and sessions, so we're going to stick around and answer everybody's questions as we go. If you do have questions, hit the Q&A button on your screen. That will then pop it up in front of all of us, and we'll be sure to answer. Let's do the world's fastest introductions. All right. So I'm Nick, founded Pringer Solutions Group. We've got a great firm. We work with a whole bunch of fundraisers, edge stuff. We love what we do. Andy, you go next, and
You
where
bet.
you're at.
Andy Schrader. I live in Dubuque, Iowa. I am the VP of Digital Services for Pranger Solutions Group and oversee the Blackbaud Ninjas, as we call them, so our database administrator team, and also work on the Automate Genius team with Stacy and Austin and Andrew.
Love it. Stacy.
I'm Stacy Cope. I am located in Omaha, Nebraska. I am the Director of Automation Services for PSG, and I work with Power Automate, and I've been a Razor's Edge user since 2011.
Holy moly. Austin.
Hi, I'm Austen Brown. I am in Central North Carolina in Asheboro, to be specific, and I am a database consultant and automation engineer, which mostly means I build a lot of automations for our clients and occasionally dabble in database work to help out with the team. And I've been using Razor's Edge since 2012.
Ooh, excellent. Mr. Menke.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Menke. I'm the Director of Accounts for Ask Genius and Automate Genius, and I am in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Excellent. Rob, where are you at today?
Hello, everyone. I am Rob Sims in Omaha, Nebraska as well. I am the Director of Data Operations, so I work with Blackbaud, but I also work with our internal database here at PSG. So yeah, that's me.
Excellent. Okay, team. So we've got the whole brain trust here. We're excited to see all of you live in person in Seattle. We did this last year for the first time, and it was a huge hit, and everybody kept talking about it and saying how helpful it was, even more so than we thought it would be, like for people that were looking for travel advice. So we decided to spin it up again. So let's start with, I think the thing that's most impactful is for folks that haven't traveled. Here's what's going on. Here's how the easiest way to get from the airport to downtown. So what you need to know about Seattle, if you've never been there, SeaTac is the airport. It is south of the city, Seattle Tacoma Airport. It's down here on your screen, and you're going to go north up into the city. Here's your options. Number one, you can take the light rail. You take the train, cost you about $3, and it will take about an hour. They say 40 minutes. That's a lie. It's actually going to be 50 minutes to an hour, and that's fine. It's nice and scenic. There's 12 stops along the way. You could also do a ride share. It costs about $60. Depends on when you land, of course, with surge pricing, but 60 is a good estimate. Last year, again, I was surprised we spun up this whole Slack channel for people to communicate, and a bunch of people were using it to coordinate rides and say, hey, I just landed. Does anybody else want to share an Uber to go downtown? And lots of people did. I think that's super cool. So feel free, make sure you use that Slack channel. Again, I'm sure Rob can drop the link in our chat here if you're not on board yet. It takes about 30 minutes for an Uber. And you could also walk it in theory. It would take you about 6 hours. I don't recommend it, but I did want to give the option, right? If you get in, maybe you're coming in Sunday, you got a lot of time. It's going to be a pretty boring walk along the interstate. You're going to see a lot of homeless camps, but you're also going to see a lot of pine trees, which is nice. The airport itself looks a little bit like this. You're going to go down, you're going to grab your luggage, And once you get your luggage, you are going to look for signs for Skybridge and the parking garage. Everything that you want to do when you're traveling out of Seattle Airport is over in this parking garage. There are signs everywhere. It's very easy to get around. Grab your luggage, and you're going to look for this. It's called the Skybridge, right? This one, and they're even numbered. I recommend going to Skybridge number 4. You're going to follow these little people across the little skywalk there. You're going to get into the parking garage. You may have to go, I don't remember if it's up or down, but they're not, the floors aren't exactly matched. So you're going to go to the parking garage. You're either going to go up or down, follow the signs. If you're going to do rideshare, there's giant stickers all over the floor. Just follow it. So if you're going to take Uber, it's on the 4th floor, and you're going to go stand with all these people. And if you're not from a big city, they've got it all organized in a way that they don't in smaller cities, and that when you order up your Uber or Lyft or whatever it might be, it will then say an exact section, right? So your car is going to park in spot C11, you're going to hang out, and you're going to go find spot C11, and you're going to hop in. Okay, so that is how you handle your Ubers. It's fast. You don't need to order it until you're walking across the Sky Bridge. There's tons just circling the airport. Okay. If you want to take the train, Andy, you look like you want to say something, but it's going to bust our 10 minutes, man.
No, I'll be quick. There were a couple comments in terms of taking the train and the hours of operation. It's important to know this because for those of you not in Pacific time flying from other parts of the country, you're either like flying in really early or flying out really early or really late. The light rail runs from 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. and on Sundays it's from 6 a.m. to midnight. So just wanted to answer. I think a couple people had mentioned that.
Yep, love it. So more like, I would be shocked if any of you are traveling at a time that train is not running for you. Okay, so if you're doing Uber, the train, you're going to go over to the parking garage. There are signs everywhere. Follow the links for Skybridge. If you take the link light rail, so we're going to talk, the train is called the light rail. You can go here. There's actually this free little shuttle. If you want to look for this little golf cart type thing, you can hop on it and it will drive you there. It is not that far. It's like a 8 or 10 minute walk, but maybe you've got a bunch of stuff you're lugging around. But you can go. It's a free shuttle, so if you see this little guy, hop on, it'll take you right to the train. If not, just keep following the signs, right? You're going to walk, it's going to walk around the outside edge of the garage. You are going to get to this. Orca is what you're looking for. This is, oh man, I don't even know what it stands for. I should have looked that up, right? But it is the Sound Transit Light Link Light Rail. You're going to buy an Orca card. You can buy a one-way or you can buy a pass to get there and back. It'll cost you about $3. If you want, you can even, like everything, you can order it ahead of time. You can download the Orca app probably and get it so you can scan something. Easiest thing for me is going to be to walk up to that, swipe my credit card, get a little one-way pass, and then scan it when I'm hopping on the train. If you buy a there and back, a round trip ticket, you're going to scan when you get on the train, and then you're going to scan when you get off the train, right? That's how it knows how far you went if you put money on the card. But you can buy a one-way ticket for $3. It's simple, it's easy. You're then going to go up an escalator and you're going to stand here with everybody else until the train arrives. It looks like this on the left. And you want to look for the Seattle North Gate. That's where you're going. Seattle North Gate is where you want to head. The train will pull up. You will then hop on the train and you're going to hop inside and it looks like this. There are spots for you to put your luggage right when you walk inside the door. Don't keep it at your feet. People will glare at you. Put it in the luggage racks. You'll see there on the spot on the sides. And it's short. So it's 12 stops. You're going to go downtown. The spot you're looking for, the exact station is called Westlake. You will know it because you will be under a giant Nordstrom's. So it's downtown. You're going to get out at Westlake. It's going to take you about an hour to get there. Lots of people are going to be getting off at Westlake. It's very common to ride from Seattle Airport to downtown. You're going to then go up a bunch of escalators to get out from beneath this giant Nordstrom's in this office building. And you're going to look out onto a street that looks like this. That actually is one of, I think that might be the Sheraton. I don't know if that's a Hyatt, but it's one of the conference hotels there is directly to your left. Okay. Stacy, is that clear for folks?
That is awesome. Yes, I think that's very clear.
All right. Ooh, you know what? I should have put in a slide. One thing I want to say, when you're flying into Seattle, it is incredibly cool because you're going to see Mount Rainier. Look up your flight path. This is a super nerdy thing for those of us that love business travel. If you go on FlightAware, you can see the tracks that your plane is going to take and find out if you should sit on the left or the right side of your plane. It is a gorgeous view, especially if it's cloudy. Mount Rainier is usually poking up out of the clouds. It's super awesome. You're going to want to take a picture. Super nerdy, but just go ahead. That's my recommendation. Look for Mount Rainier. It's right by the airport. It's gorgeous.
Nick, the chat is telling us that ORCA stands for One Regional Card for All.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
How about that for branding?
I thought we were riding a whale.
I know. I kind of like that. All right. This is Seattle. The blue spot on here is Westlake Station. That's where you're going to get out. If you take the train for $3, you are then going to walk, and it looks like this. Austin will go up to the Space Needle. You're going to walk left a couple blocks, and this is the Seattle Convention Center. Okay, it's a summit. All of your hotels are right around here. So that's the convention center. I do want to warn you, if you have not been to Seattle, it is like everything is uphill. No matter which direction you go, it is so much steeper than you think. Well, we all know about San Francisco being full of hills. Seattle is the same way. Mankey and I, in previous consulting jobs, spent a whole bunch of time in Seattle. I will still never forget how much you're walking uphill. Just know it, be prepared for it. It is not a flat city. Everywhere you go is going straight uphill. All right, this is what the convention center looks like. It is the summit. There are 2 convention centers. Okay, so there's the old one that's called the Seattle Convention Center, and it's called the Arch. And actually, you'll notice you'll be walking down the street, and it like spans over the top. It's pretty cool. That is not where bbcon is. bbcon is in the new one that they started building just before COVID, and then everything stopped, and there was a huge crisis, and they didn't know if it was going to be finished. And anyway, they finished it not too long ago. I think it just finished like in 2023. So we're among the first people in there. It's supposedly super cool. We're looking forward to it. That is what it looks like. All right, so all your hotels are right around there. Okay, so this is our convention center in purple. If you're staying at the Hyatt or the Sheraton, it's all there. If you're staying at the Marriott, it was a mistake. I'm a Marriott guy, but the Marriott is way down on the water, so it's a bit of a hike uphill for you if you're going. The fun stuff, which we'll get to, is down here. Like when you think of Seattle, you think, okay, what's the touristy areas? A lot of that is down by the water, so you're going to walk downhill. Down here, that's where you're going to find the first Starbucks. You're going to find Pike's Place Market, all that good stuff. Okay, we're going to get back to travel restaurant recommendations. First, let's get down to business. Stacy, who we all trust with everything. She's knowledgeable and kind and smart and very experienced. She has poured over the hundreds of sessions that are available, and she found a couple that are worthwhile this year. So we're excited by that. So these are the sessions that get Stacy's stamp of approval. Stacy, let's go chronologically starting on Tuesday. What do we recommend people go to and why?
So this one, Driving Operational Excellence. This is presented by our friends Jim Ballou of Microsoft and Dan Snyder of Bennington College. All of you who are Razor's Edge users are already doing low-code programming, even if you don't know that's what it is. You're creating queries, you're using logic to make your computer do something, and that's all that low-code is. This is going to be, I think, a really, really good overview with some really good examples from Bennington College. So if you're interested in learning more about low-code and getting your computer to do your work for you, this, I think, is a great session to start with.
And plug Dan. Dan is on the chat with us today, I see. And Jim Ballou, so he's at Microsoft, but he used to be Razor's Edge guy too, right? Blackbud guy?
He was
Okay.
at Blackbud for years and years.
Yep, we think highly of them. You'll notice all of our sessions, there's generally people that we trust to give a really great session. Okay, what else on Tuesday?
So cleaning up your database is a thing that I love doing. I'll do it all day long if they would let me.
But we won't, because we won't.
To be clear, we won't.
We won't.
This is presented by Anthony Gallo and Lacey Kruger from Blackbud. So this is going to have an exploration of the new online data review tool, which some of our team has been using to review online gifts through RENXT web forms. And it's very cool. So come and check this out if you haven't seen that yet.
Love it. We've got another one on Tuesday here.
So since your Razor's Edge is now billed based on their number of records, a lot of more people are considering deleting constituents, which we would never have done 10 years ago. We would have just kept them all forever and ever, right? So Bill Connors is presenting this, should have a ton of good food for thought. We always trust his instincts with Razor's Edge. So this is going to be a great one to decide what things to consider when you're thinking about deleting things from Razor's Edge.
I also just want to endorse the comments in the chat. Yes, Blackbud always puts the best sessions against each other. It's incredibly frustrating. There's entire giant gaps of boring nothingness, and then there's great sessions, and they're always competing against each other. I don't know why they do it. I don't know if they do it alphabetically, but it drives me nuts every year. So you're not alone if you're noticing that.
Yeah, help for love.
True. All right, on Wednesday. The first of the Ask the Super Users panels. Obviously, these are great and they will be packed. If you have any questions from beginner to advanced, you should come and ask these people. I think the Wednesday one is going to be Amy Barker, Dan Snyder, Maya Rossman, and Sunshine Watson. So big all-stars there and great place to meet them if you're trying to connect with any of those people too. So good place to check out.
Awesome. And I like it that it's not till 11:30. Some of us are not morning people, so that 11:30 is like the perfect, roll out of bed, go attend a session.
Um, have you inherited a mess? This one is Amy Barker, Marie Stark, and Sophia Bonnelly. I don't remember what all organizations they're from, but I think a couple of you are on this, so you can tell us in the chat who you are representing. But this, I think, is going to be a really, really good session for beginners or people who are starting in a new role. There's always so many questions and things to consider when you look at a new database. So some things they'll cover are how to start, where to start, naming conventions for your Razor's Edge, and my personal favorite, addressing and salutation cleanup, which I would also do all day.
I wonder if this is probably representative. A lot of the people on the call like, man, if I could just clean up records all day and not deal with all the headaches, that would be a dream.
Yeah.
Okay, what else on Wednesday?
It's the Little Things 2.0. This is Adrian Johnston and Judith Youngblood will be presenting this, and they did this last year, just had a zillion little tips and tricks and ideas for Razor's Edge. And they should be this year, including some web view, although I think they will be focusing still on some database view things too. So it should be some things that are actionable today. And then hopefully some looks into how to move into web view.
And for the folks on the line, we get asked this a ton. You guys know we do a bunch of webinars. We are doing, excuse me, I think in November, Rob, is that right? We're going to do the big, all right, you're moving from database view to web view. The Facebook forum is always full of discussions on this. Are they going to sunset it? What does it look like? We're doing a whole big session on that. I'm sure it'll be a topic of conversation at bbcon as well. But just know it's very much on our radars. I'm sure it is for all of you.
Yeah, November 19th. I'll drop it in the chat.
Awesome.
This next one, extend your Blackbaud solutions with the Power Platform. This is going to be all of our Power Platform leaders at Blackbaud. So Glenn Hudson, Eric Lever, Heather McLean, Ashley Moose, they are the Power Platform, people at Blackbaud. So this is going to be a great place to go get ideas, meet those guys if you haven't, connect with them and see what they're up to and what else might be possible that you haven't thought of yet.
Are those, Stacey, are those formal? So I always see those like the demos. Is it loose or is it like an official start? Like, how do they do those in that?
I don't know because I didn't make it to any of these last year. Did any of you?
I did. They're kind of like a show and tell. So I mean, if you sneak in a couple minutes late, you can. But it's more of a performance, I think, than anything. That's kind of the mentality of going into it, not like sit there and be quiet. A lot of people taking notes, though, and asking questions as they're doing it.
Okay.
Perfect.
So here's another one, Stacey. What's this one about?
Yeah, this is Anthony Gallo presenting this. He is I think he's the team lead. I don't know his exact title, but he's the team lead on the gift processing in Razor's Edge NXT WebView. We've seen a preview of this, the new batch entry process, which is going to look a lot more like database view and have some really cool stuff in it. So we're all going to have to learn how to do this. This is going to be a really great place to connect with Anthony and get a preview of it.
Love it. Okay, so that's Wednesday. Starts 11:30. Got a couple in the afternoon, a couple of demos. Thursday, last day of the conference. What's the first thing we recommend here?
Another Ask the Super users. Obviously, go to these. This is a great place to connect with beginners and pros alike. This panel will be Amy Dana, Heather McKenzie, Maya Rossman, and Austen Brown. Yay! So this is going to be the place to be. I think a lot of us will be in this room for this one to see who all is around and ask questions big and small.
Love it. Okay. And then what we're all.
Oh, what's this one? Is this
we got another one at the same time. This is the one. Yeah. So tell us about this one. I have parking here on there.
This one jumped out at me, and this is being presented. Actually, I think it might be at another time also. I can't remember now. But this is described in the session listing as how to use Blackbaud support. So we've definitely noticed support has changed since I started working in Razor's Edge in 2011, and you spent, a lot of time on the phone. So I think that this would be a good thing to go to see if they're going to announce any big changes that we don't already know about, and just learn kind of what Blackbaud thinks is the best way to go about getting your questions answered.
Stacey says that in a diplomatic way. Some of us who are more cynical and have been around a long time would read this as, this reads like a session where Blackbaud's about to announce that you no longer have customer support and everything is going to be AI or digital, or you're going to have to search through knowledge base articles. Or do what most people do, which is just put something on the forum and wait for Austen to single-handedly answer all of their questions and teach them what to do. So this session attended just because it has the headline of something where they might be announcing. Again, we have no inside knowledge on this, but we have a keen eye on what they're doing and what they're doing for support and whether they're going to start charging money for customer support. And if they're going to do any of those things, it would usually be under a banner that looks a little bit something like this. Okay. And then the big session. I'll sing your praises, Stacy. So this is Stacy and Austen are doing a repeat. So last year, if you remember, the very last session of the entire conference was Stacy and Austen doing this wonderful presentation on automations that are going to blow your mind. It was standing room only. Everybody was there with their luggage because they're heading to the airport. Once again, Blackbaud has scheduled, I believe, the last session of the entire conference because they must want people to stick around. So they wait for Stacy and Austen. So they're doing 6 more fundraising automations. It's in that same room, Austen. Is that right? That you're doing the super user?
Yeah, it is. Come for the Ask the Super Users and stay for ours.
Yes. So go to the super users, stick around. We've been working on that presentation. It's nuts. You guys know how big we are in automations. The stuff that you can do now is crazy. You're all going to love it. So make sure to attend that. Moving quickly into prizes. So this is what we're doing this year. So PSG, you've probably seen on the socials. Austen Brown is a superhero, as you all know. So we went ahead and created some superhero action figures, some bobbleheads. Everybody can have a chance to win your own Austen Brown bobblehead. We're going to have them all there. The way that we're going to do it is we are doing this fun scavenger hunt thing. So throughout the conference area, so this was a photo I think of us from last year. Throughout the conference area, the hotel area, we are going to hide clues all over the place. And they are going to look like this. You're going to see bobblehead Austen. You're going to see a clue. When you register for the scavenger hunt, you scan a clue. You're going to get entries into winning your own bobblehead and maybe even some other fun stuff. It's going to be great. So we're going to hide clues throughout the conference. Every clue is your chance to win a bobblehead. The spot to go to start all of this is you have to register to win so that we know when you're scanning clues that it's you. Rob, I'm so sorry. This cough, I promise, will be gone by the time we all get to Seattle. You have to register to win. I'm sure Rob can put the link, if he hasn't already, in the chat. Sign up. There's no cost to you. This is not a marketing activity. It's just something fun that we want to do because we want to give away these bobbleheads. We know everybody's going to love it. And we're going to share hints in that Slack channel. And I know that somebody asked a question, Rob, in the Q&A about the Slack channel. Do you want to answer that live for folks?
Yeah, I can answer it live too. I'll drop the link in there once more. But yeah, I mean, people ask, just for those of you who haven't used Slack, there's probably many of you. I had never used Slack before last year when we did this for bbcon. So it's really intuitive. It's really easy. It's just a place to chat. I mean, basically, because Blackbaud didn't have that functionality in their app last year, so we figured we'd go ahead and do it on their behalf. And so a lot of people were able to connect there and chat. So yeah, download that. The link to it will get you into our channel. And I'll put that up there again.
And again, that's where people are scheduling rides. They're sharing restaurant recommendations. Everybody's sharing. I just love the culture of it. People are sharing photos. They're sharing tips on and advice on what they're seeing. Mr. Mankey came up with this idea last year because we're all waiting on the bbcon app, and then they released it, and it was just kind of like a mobile web page. It was kind of clunky, didn't work. So
it's not really. It's not an app.
It's not an app.
Let's be honest about this.
It's not an app. So that's what the Slack channel is. Again, a lot of people just download it, use it during bbcon, and then you never use it again. We're not really active on it at any other time other than bbcon, but it's a whole lot of fun. But that is where we're going to be putting the clues so that everybody can participate in this little scavenger hunt and see if you can win yourself a very own Austen Brown bobblehead. Make sure to ask Austen about it. She loves talking about all these little bobbleheads floating around with her face on it. Seattle recommendations. Here are restaurant recommendations. I'm going to run through them here, and then I'm going to go to Google Earth and kind of show you the lay of the land on everything. But real quick, this is your convention center. Remember, there's 2 of them. We are in the summit, so don't just set directions for the convention center because it will probably take you to the arch, which is this one over here. First thing I'm going to recommend is you go here. Starbucks Reserve Roastery. I love coffee. I do enjoy Starbucks as well. If you haven't been, they've got a great one in Chicago. I think they're building one in New York. It's just super cool, right? It's a giant mega Starbucks with all sorts of drinks you can't get anywhere else. It's a fun place to visit. They have amazing food. It's awesome. That's correct, Carlene. There is not a Cava in Seattle. I thought about just not going to bbcon this year, but then I thought, I probably still want to see everybody. So I can't recommend a Cava, but I can recommend swing over to the Roastery. It's a great place to kill some time, read a book, go over with some friends, have some coffee. It's like 3 blocks from the convention center. It's just across the interstate. What else do we got? I don't have it on here, but there's also, you can take a ferry ride over to Bainbridge. It's fun. If you get it on Sunday and you're not starting until Monday, Yeah, Andy, you've done that before, right?
I have. If you're looking to go to kind of like a little quaint town that is literally an island, you can take the ferry there. If you watch Grey's Anatomy, that's where they're going on the ferry is to Bainbridge Island. But plenty of little shops, gift shops, restaurants.
There's a
Get
great
good
brewery.
snack.
You
Yeah,
take the ferry over there. You can spend an hour at the brewery, and then take the ferry back.
turn around, come back. Yep.
All of that is right here. So remember, we're right here at the convention center. You're just going to walk down this mega hill. You're going to get to the waterfront, take the ferry across the way. It's a whole lot of fun. What else have I have highlighted here? Oh, Pike's Place Market. So this is the public market. This is a very touristy area. It's super cool. You can walk around. I recommend everybody do it. Like if you want to stretch your legs, this is the place that's walkable and you're going to want to see it. You can see some people throwing fish if you get up early in the morning. I do not. I've never seen it. I've heard that it happens, but it's earlier than I get out of bed. Austin will probably be down there catching fish and throwing them back. Anytime you talk about Seattle, you're talking about Starbucks, and someone's going to mention the first Starbucks, and someone's going to say, well, technically the first Starbucks closed. It's really the second Starbucks. Andy, is that correct?
It is. This is the oldest Starbucks, but technically it's the second Starbucks, not the first. And it's right there on Park Place Market and kind of the Post Alley area as well.
You will never see it like this because there will be a line all the way down the block. So if it's small, it's cool. You can say you've been there. You can also just take a photo and then keep going. There's always a line there. Where there is not a line is the most interesting and also disgusting thing in the world, which is the gum wall, which is a thing in Seattle. It looks like this. This is sort of an Instagram version of what it looks like. Also just kind of looks like a whole bunch of gum slobbered and stuck on a wall there, but it's a thing. Menke, did you go to the gum wall when we were spending all that time in Seattle?
No, and I probably won't go this time. I hear one of my friends went there recently. I hear that like you can smell it. Like it's not just
You
like,
can.
yeah, like it's a smell. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Keep Seattle weird. That is, it is a thing. All right. So that is also down. That's all still down in this area down here. If you walk down the hill towards the waterfront. What else we got over here on the left? You've got the really cool the public library. It's a funky building. It's pretty cool inside. Again, Seattle. It's a cool walkable city if you don't mind hiking up and down mountains. But great architecture. The weather's going to be great. You're going to love it. Restaurant recommendations. Excuse me. We're going to go quick here. Pink Door. Iconic restaurant down there. It's right by the gum wall, so you can smell the gum wall and then go have some rigatoni or manicotti or something. It's going to be more expensive, so bring some friends or have a consultant bring you. That's the real answer here for all of our nonprofit friends. Try and get those folks over at Zeidman or Omatic or something to take you out to the Pink Door. What else we got? Rays. Hey, I think we're going to Rays, aren't we?
We are going to Rays one of the nights. Yeah.
Love it. All right, PSG is going to Rays one of the nights. We're excited. This isn't Uber though, right? This isn't walkable. This is a little bit north.
It is an Uber, and it is voted by many as the best seafood in Seattle. So if you like fresh caught seafood, and by fresh caught, I mean probably caught within hours of it being on your plate, this is a place you want to go.
Love it. Okay, Rays Boathouse. We will be there Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure which night we're going. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Happy hour. Everybody always asks about the happy hour spots. Donna's is great. It's right by where we are. It's right by the Starbucks Reserve Roastery, so it's just across the interstate. Donna's a great place to go. Probably have food as well, right? They got snacks and stuff.
They do, and it relatively inexpensive food. I mean, comparatively to like around the area, the happy hour especially, I think they have like $10 pasta plates, which is a meal in and of itself.
Okay. Bad news. Angela tells me that they've stopped throwing the fish at Pike Place. So no more do you have an excuse to get up in the morning, sleep in. Everything is going to be there when you wake up mid-afternoon, and it's going to be great. So don't worry about the Pike's Place fish anymore. And Alex from Seattle can confirm that Rays is great and the view is amazing. Another decent view, and this is, so we're back to kind of touristy land. So when you give recommendations, you can go one of two ways. You can give like the really local stuff that isn't touristy and you give your street cred, but it's also usually kind of a pain to get to. There's something to say for the really big restaurants that are right there on the water. Ivers is one of those. So there's two locations. Ivers Acres of Clam is right down there near Pike's Place Market. This is in that area that I highlighted before. I've always been able to get a great seat right out there on the sound. Looks great. A whole lot of fun. Good salmon, good fish and chips, all that other stuff. I've actually been to this one as well, but I think it was called something different. This is that rooftop bar, Andy, that you mentioned.
Yeah, at the Hilton. So again, small plates and lots of like fun cocktails. So if you like having drinks from a mixologist, this is where you want to go. And again, a neat view. There's not a bad view in the entire city. This is going to be one of the better views.
Yep. Skyline views. This one, when I went there and it's called something different, I know that I had to get reservations. I don't know if you need reservations, but if you've got a group of 5 or 10 or something, check it out. It's at the Hilton Motif Hotel. It's super cool. And again, we know the weather's going to be great, so we love it. Austin, let's share your tips, and then I'm going to share Google Earth and answer questions. All right. So Austin has a ton of tips, and we can share this with folks if they're curious. What do you want to highlight? So here's the first 6, and I'll put up the rest of them.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, don't ignore the expo hall. I feel like, usually that's right near the like cafeteria lunch area, or at least it was in the last conference center we were in, and just go around and talk to people. Even if you aren't necessarily interested in investing in something new, partners are on the edge of what's happening out there. They know where the trends are going. They're coming up with some really cool things. And they usually hand out really good swag. So just do a lap, go get some socks, a t-shirt, a koozie, what have you, and go see what folks are up to.
Love it. And I would say of all the conversations, I mean, bbcon has a whole lot of introverts. Like, let's just call it, right? There's something that draws all of us to the database work that also generally appeals to those of us who wouldn't go walk around and make new friends and socialize. Now's your time to get out of your get out of your comfort zone because everybody's in the same boat. And I just want to second that partners know a lot. We are a partner. We know a lot. You don't need to be a customer. They will tell you what's coming up next, what's exciting. They know they're living inside of Razor's Edge or Alltrue or whatever it is that you're using. So talk to partners. They're great. What else from the bottom one here?
I would say the after-hour events are really cool. If hanging out with thousands of people is not your jam, use the Slack channel and meet up with some people you might not see every day or, don't necessarily live in your corner of the world. Just make sure, I guess, that you're talking. Most of my points are talking to people. And I will come out and say, I am an introvert. So talking to people is hard for me, something I have to mentally prepare myself for before this conference. But it's possible. It's a learned skill, right? So don't be afraid to walk up to someone you don't know, sit next to someone you don't know. You just start a conversation. We all have something in common.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. I'm going to, Andy, is there anything in chat you want to cover or questions and answers? Well, I'm going to pull up that Google Earth thing. Just I'm going to show people, give them a little bit more of a sense of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times people ask questions about safety, right? So is the light rail safe? Yes, it's safe. We actually sourced a lot of our research here from friends and former colleagues and things like that live in this area. So many of the recommendations have come directly from the people. And I know obviously we've got, I think Alex, you said, kind of affirmed that Raise is a great place. But obviously be smart about things. Even if you are going out there solo, like we encourage you to kind of travel in pairs. It's not an unsafe city, and where we're at in the city is certainly a safer part of the city. I think one of the big challenges that people have in Seattle is it is a more expensive city than many other cities in the country. So as you are traveling there, you're probably gonna see some sticker shock, even if you're like the $5 footlong at Subway does not exist in a place like Seattle, right? So just kind of be aware of that. Know going in that you are going to have to pay a little bit more for some of the things. And if there's an opportunity to splurge, whether your nonprofit is covering it or you decide to, pull some money out of your own pocket, try something that you've never had. The first time I went to Seattle, I was not a seafood guy. I am now a seafood guy because the seafood there tastes different than the seafood in Iowa. I will just say that out loud.
But with that said, you don't have to eat oysters because oysters are gross. So don't be.
I tried that. Would not recommend.
Okay. Question. So this on your screen, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I want to answer a couple questions first. Adam asked a question. Our sessions first come, first serve. Austin, what's the deal? You just show up and you can generally get a seat.
Show up. If you want to get the front row, maybe you need to show up like 15 minutes before the session. If it is likely to be a super popular one, you will find that there will be standing room only sessions sometimes that goes out into the hall,
Yep.
So it's
Austin and Stacy's will be standing room only. Lots of the other ones, and they generally know they'll put the bigger ones in the bigger spots. So, but you should be fine. The good thing about getting there early is you can connect with people, and I know not everybody wants to make friends, but like this is the time. Like you do something that nobody else does, which is run a database. Nobody at your organization knows what you do. They don't understand it. Then you get to bbcon, and everybody there speaks the same language. Use that time. Network with folks before and after. Question from Leslie about business casual. Stacy, it's all business casual, right? Like you'll see a little bit of everything, but like certainly nobody's wearing coats and ties at this thing.
Yep, definitely all casual.
And Stacy is
I
going
will
to
be
tell you
wearing
to Stacy can tell you to bring a sweater because
and probably a hat. Conference centers are always kept at like meat lock type temperatures. It's awful.
which I
Well,
love. It's fantastic.
And the time in which we're traveling to Seattle, it will be cooler in nature. So if you're coming from a climate that is typically warmer, it is cool, and not just cool at night, but cool during the day as well. So a light jacket or something with sleeves, probably recommended. You may not wear it all the time, but when you want it, you'll want it.
Yep. Love it.
Also on that, bring a rain jacket or an umbrella because it's gonna rain at least once while you're there.
Gonna rain while you're there. Patsy asked a question. What's the name of the convention center again? The convention center is the Seattle Convention Center Summit Building, and it's this one right here. So on the screen, this is the new one. It's on Summit. It's on it's like Olive, and I forget what the other road is, but look it up. It's Summit. This one down here, I like this view because you can see it. This is the convention center, the Arch. So this is a street you'll walk down. They got lights. It's really cool. That's not where we are. We're catty corner at the new Summit Building. All of these tall ones around it are the hotels that you're probably staying in. Okay. So just showing you on the map here, this is where you're at. This is west. This is the lake, not lake, sound, excuse me. You can tell I'm from the Midwest. You're going to go to all the fun. So back up. Starbucks Reserve Roastery is right here in this general area, just across the street. If you go down to the waterfront, you're going to get, excuse me.
And that is downhill. Down is actually down in that scenario.
Down is down in this situation. So we'll look at it from a different angle. This is where you're going to have Pike Place Public Market. You're going to have the disgusting gum wall that everybody wants to take a photo by. You've got the Seattle Art Museum. Public libraries over here. Ivers that I mentioned is down here. Pink Door is like in this cool little area kind of down by the gum wall. So recommend all of that. Mickey, you and I spent a ton of time. It was in Capitol Hill, right? Isn't that the area?
Yeah, so it's across I-5. Very cool neighborhood. Lots of great restaurants, breweries, things to do. So yeah.
So if you walk out, this is our convention center. Go across the interstate, and this area is Capitol Hill. Great restaurants and stuff there. It's also the site, if those of you remember who are old enough, the autonomous zone. They declared themselves separate from the United States. The CHOP. Do you remember that when like an area of Seattle like put up barriers and they seceded from the Union? That is in the Capitol Hill district as well. A whole lot of fun. You can go see the sites there. Okay.
When you cross I-5,
when
you cross I-5, look to your right. You'll see Mount Rainier each time. So.
Yep, cathedral's right there. It's gorgeous. It's a really cool area. We have fond memories of Seattle. We had some great consulting clients out there. Spent a lot of time there, so we're excited to go back. Other questions, Rob? Did you see anything that we need to make sure we tackle here before we call it a day?
Someone asked if sessions were being if we knew which sessions would be recorded, and Blackbaud hasn't put anything out for that. But if you have a virtual pass, I think the main stage presentations will be live, so you can go in during the week of bbcon and watch those live. But everything else will be recorded after, maybe, and it's usually only a selection of sessions. It's not everything.
And to be honest, it's not real clear either. Like there's as presenters, like you never know if you're gonna be recorded or not. I think I think there's some turnover among the team at Blackbaud maybe. Advice for someone who said they're feeling overwhelmed at the start of the conference, probably a common feeling, right? Austen, I'm going to go to you. What's your advice? Somebody's feeling overwhelmed, maybe a first time at bbcon. What do you tell them?
Run.
I would say join the Slack channel and maybe meet up with someone before the conference itself, and then you can have a buddy group to go in with, and you don't feel quite as alone.
Yep, love it. And also, if you're not, you don't take our advice, don't talk to people, that's fine. Slack channel is going to be your best friend ever because you'll feel connected and you'll be able to participate that way. You'll never have to talk to anybody, but you can communicate.
The other conversations. Yeah.
That's where the conversations are happening. And that's where you're going to get clues to find your own little Austen bobblehead. I echo what Maya said. Everybody's super friendly, right? There's something about this conference that is so wonderful because, again, many of us, our peers don't know what we do day to day. They don't understand what it is to run a big complex database. You're suddenly surrounded by other people who understand you. Everyone is super nice and friendly. It's great. Lots of inside jokes, lots of common shared experiences. So we like that. Somebody else asked about food. bbcon has a great spread. They always feed you well. Lots of food and drinks. It's absolutely wonderful. Reception is fantastic. Somebody asked about running. Menke, that's probably more for you than me. What is what do you recommend about running in Seattle?
Well, like we said before, there's a lot of hills. So if you want to get that elevation gain, you've gone to the right place. But yeah, I mean, probably mornings is going to be best. I wouldn't run at night. Um, but yeah, I mean, drop something in Slack. I'm probably going to go for a run at least once. So
What
everyone wants to join up.
I can recommend this. This up here north. So Seattle's down here, up north. This is the Green Lake. It's gorgeous. This is where I would go. So I didn't run. My wife and I went out there not so long ago. We walked all the way from downtown up there. You walk around the lake. Again, a very cool area. There's sort of higher end bistros and things all around it. You got a walking path all the way around it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great. You'll notice we did not mention the Space Needle. It's cool to see. Completely forgettable as far as like an actual experience in Seattle. Long lines. If you've been in a tall building before, you've been in a tall building. So I would not say that Seattle, like Space Needle, is like I absolutely have to go do that. I would definitely go down to the market on the water. You can skip the Space Needle. Somebody in the chat can fight me on that. There's probably a local Seattle person that's like taking offense to what I'm saying. All right, Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, so I did see somebody say we talked a lot about like Pike Place and kind of waterfront. Is it walkable? It is walkable. I will tell you, an easier walk there than back. So I mean, one thing to consider, right? It's downhill there, walk there, maybe Uber back if you don't want to walk back uphill.
You could buy those shoes like that my kids have with like the wheels in the heels,
Easy.
right? And you can just coast all the way downhill. Maybe a skateboard, you can be down there in no time.
Pack your Razor scooter.
It is. And then somebody asked about not walkable. It is walkable, the Space Needle. So I've done that. I've walked, like I like to walk quite a bit. It's all very walkable. It's just time. How much do you have? So if you're getting there Sunday and conference doesn't start till Monday, it's go walk all day. It's fantastic. It's a very walkable city. Yes, it is safe. You are going to see a ton of homeless people. I've never felt unsafe, right? I'm sure there's parts, but Seattle's pretty darn safe. All right. So we did it, guys. We kept it 10 minutes, just like we promised, on the dot. We nailed it. We're
You
killing
may have
it.
to make this a 15-minute one next year. That way we're only 25 minutes over instead of 30.
Next year, all right, 15 minutes next year. We don't want to do any false advertising. Everybody, sign up for the Slack channel because that's where everybody's at. We wish that Blackbud put together a better app that you could use. They don't, so we'll do it for them. Use the Slack channel. Come say hi to us. We'll be there at the PSG booth. We'll give that presentation on Thursday, which is awesome. We love seeing all of you. Reach out if you have questions. We love this community so much, right? We love Blackbud users, we love Razor's Edge users, we love being a part of this. We appreciate all of you guys showing up for this. So reach out anytime, and we will see you in 10 days? Is that right? 10, 11 days, something like that?
Yeah, it is.
Incredible.
10 days, I think we'll be there.
Awesome. All right, everybody, safe travels. And sorry, Austin, did somebody have a question?
The QR code of the Slack back up on the screen.
Ooh, I can. Hold on. We'll close out with that.
Slide one.
Sorry to interrupt.
Slideshow from beginning. We'll do a little of this, and then we'll share the screen. Ready, on your mark, get set, go. Okay, there you go. So that is where you can download Slack, use it during bbcon. You don't need to use it again after that, but it's intuitive, it's handy. You'll see a bunch of different threads on there for restaurant recommendations, travel recommendations, all that good stuff. All right, I'm excited. I always get this webinar gets me excited. I'm like, oh man, I love Seattle. I love bbcon. I love to eat.
Right.
All of those things.
I think they'll announce. We think that they're going to announce here where bbcon will be next year. So that means our prep for next year's, pre-bbcon panel starts. I mean, probably Thursday at bbcon, right?
You know what we should do? We should do, like a football, like pick 'em. You pick the final score.
Yeah.
We should come up. Let's do a chart and we grab like all the major cities and people can like guess where the next one's at. We'll do a little giveaway or something like that.
I don't mind that.
All right. So we got something to do. PSG, we're going to work on that. So we'll grab the booth and you can guess where the next bbcon is for prizes.
And the most guesses gets officially mentioned to Blackbot as where the next one should actually be, even if it's not next year.
That's right. We'll crowdsource this thing. Okay, everybody. We appreciate y'all. Take care. We'll catch you in Seattle.
Safe travels.